endless. The acceptance of endless well-being. Pure intent. If you have that, all you want is to extend that to everyone you know, and beyond that realm too. Then there's no confusion about intent. There's only the relinquishing of any control you think you might have over it. Basically, stop spitting in the face of God. He's getting a little angry. That's another way of putting it. He says, go there. I mean, that's what you want, right? You want that heavenly state. Then why do you neglect the direction you get? It's around you all the time. It says, hey. And you go, you think, what is that? What are you doing? Oh, but you have a plan. A master plan. Yippee dippy. You and about 15 billion other people that have come and gone. All of them achieving nothing. Except for to come back here again. This may sound harsh. I'm sure it does. But, you know, to me, this whole trip is about not making it more personal. Taking less of the ego out of the driver's seat. Well, give it a spot in the back seat. Matter of fact, give it the middle spot in the back seat so it can see clearly out the windshield and out the side. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it drive. It's insane. You won't enjoy it. Let's put it that way. It'll be a wreck. It'll drive too fast. It'll hit the brakes too hard. It'll go around the corners, real jittery. And it will always be lost and asking for directions. So you're never really going anywhere. It's always getting out asking for directions. From other things just like it, lost. So, you know, the little egos bump against little egos and little conversations are exchanged and then everybody's lost. I mean, I don't mean to belittle the human experience. I really don't. But it's a little juvenile. The whole thing's gotten juvenile. Out of control juvenile. You know, there's the depth is...
You don't think it always has been?
No. As a matter of fact, I know it hasn't always been. But that's what I know. I mean, I can't say this is how it is, right? I only know from my experience. That no, it hasn't always been that way. And that, no, it isn't always that way. Even now. Sometimes, you know, kind of like the jet stream on a dip last week, and froze our asses off, up to this week, and went back up. Dimensions do that too. You get enough magnetic weirdness going on, and suddenly, I mean, it's happened. People on this planet have looked up and saw a ship in the sky. It suddenly disappears. It doesn't suddenly disappear. It's not what's happening. The dimensions are they're pulling together. Right? I mean, you're experiencing all kinds of weirdness because these dimensions are just overlapping now, like breezes blow them together. There's millions of reports now of people seeing these creatures that show up out of nowhere and disappear out of nowhere. And they're not. The dimensions are caving in on each other. This is what prophecy said for thousands of years.
Or the people are more aware.
You could say that too, but that awareness is peaked up by what's happening universally. Right? You expand to such a point, and everything becomes informed. It all becomes one woo. You know what I mean? So it's always been stated, at least from the people I've known through their lineage, that there would come a time where all the dimensions would collide. That for a short time you will see all the everything right here. Not like in your physical realm, but within consciousness, you'd see the extent of it right here. Which means that, inorganic beings from strange universes, they're not from strange universes, they're right here. just in a different dimensional field. And when they collide, you see them. Right? Shamans are able to take two dimensions, pull them together, bring someone through that, separate them once again, and have them in somewhere else completely. That's what's happening. There's no magic involved. It's just understanding energetics. And the only way you can understand energetics is with your heart. Why is that so confusing for everybody? I have no idea. Your heart tells you. Anytime you have gone beyond the realm of your mind and experienced bliss, is it not your heart feeling? Right? I mean, am I wrong here? Whenever you have felt, wow, you're feeling it. It's not you're thinking it, you're feeling it. That's the level you're actually existing at. Right? So you could talk high and mighty all you want. It doesn't matter. Your vibe is what shows. You can claim understanding for days. Your vibe is what shows. Now, to that sleeping world, you may be a fucking giant. Excuse my French. But to the real one, you're not that big. To what's vast. To what's informed, you're nothing. Not that mind. It's the being. The being. The being. The being. The being. The being. What's looking out of your eyeballs? What's radiating from within? It's not a slave to do your bidding. You don't get to use it for your whims, for your plans. You just don't get to. And every attempt brings you closer to depression. If you think I'm kidding, I feel sorry for you. I'm very playful, yes. Very humorous, too. But some things need to be said. Because look, I'm a Muslim. Project it out with your mind. Go ahead. Create a plan and follow it. Even when your heart tells you not to. See where you end up. The first indicator is the lack of energetic purpose. Shows a dead person. Right, and I'm kind of convinced that if you're dead here, you're dead everywhere else too. You're pretty much sitting in that kind of apathetic place. But yeah, you can stagnate if you'd like. You see, the heart won't have it. It won't leave you. It's not ever going to leave you. But it won't function quite at the brightness that you'd like. If it's just doing your bidding. Because your bidding doesn't really have the well-being of anyone else involved in it. I think you know why I can learn so fast, Wally? So quickly, or adapt so quickly. Because I don't believe I know anything. All I'm ever really trying to do is be able to hear the universe more clearly. To hear that which made us clearly. Right? And then to Not so much talk about it, but emanate as much of that as I possibly can. To show people it's possible. The ego is a bitch, isn't it? It gives everything a motive, doesn't it? Is it ever clear about its intent? So what good is it?
I like that about, not just acting like you don't know anything. Somebody told me, we're all stupid. And it was like a release. I don't have to look at somebody and say, you're really stupid, or you came up short, or whatever. Because I don't need to judge them, they don't need to judge me, just let it go. Takes the burden off, the whole judgment thing.
Yeah,
It's
we don't,
me.
yeah, we don't know anything.
But the world needs stupid people.
Why is that?
Because then you wouldn't know smart people.
You wouldn't feel good.
Some food's better tasty with salt and pepper.
And everybody serves a purpose.
But it's just when you get all wrapped up in that judgment of like, why are they always doing this and that? Then you're making yourself miserable.
Yeah, but you got to understand vibrations. Everybody's operating on a different vibration. So therefore, that's what they manifest.
I think judgment is a funny thing. I think what people are judging in others is ultimately what they're noticing inside themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You should say, if the person can notice that, they're noticing it inside of themselves. There's something you can do with that. Right? So judgment becomes actually, the same energy that frees you. It's really, you're using the same thing for everything. It's just how it's being used.
So I see it as, that's my fear, how others might see me. But
We couldn't recognize the behavior to judge unless we noticed it. The only way we notice it is energetically within ourselves.
And you see, it's all relative, because sometimes I run into people that sometimes I feel stupid. There's always somebody smarter. It's just different degrees of it, depending on the situation that you're in, or the position. And then some things that appear to be stupid, those others perceive to be brilliant. And you say to yourself, go figure. But that's how this world operates, as physical existence.
I think what I'd like to figure out is how to maintain a high state of well-being. And then ordering food.
So what are you saying, like, when you supposedly reach that highest existence, you shouldn't have any need for substance, right?
No, I'm saying not come down for anything.
Not get caught in it.
Well, it's a world of attachments, right?
I guess.
Food is an attachment,
Maybe.
or can be.
I haven't tested that limit yet. To see if it's even necessary. I'm told it is, so I eat. Right? And since I'm told it is and I have an idea about it, I eat, and it makes me feel satisfied. But I've gone 3 or 4 days without food and felt pretty magical too. So I don't know.
Mhm.
That's why I figure you just go with what your heart's telling you. And you'll always know when it's telling you something. It's never saying anything. It's coming from that depth of silence. It's so full of sound, but it's completely quiet. It's very weird. Makes you sure of yourself.
Oh, you think the silence is weird?
I think trying to explain it is.
Hmm?
I think trying to explain it is.
Hmm.
Kind of like God. So trying to explain that is kind of boring. I'd rather go, okay, so what is that concept? What does that represent?
It all depends on your socialization too.
I guess that's what is that wacky. So, you know, it's like, and all of this stuff we enforce on each other. The socialization, the way that you were raised, is going to enforce upon me.
Well, that's how those people.
Daddy didn't
try to-
like you. He thought you were a total little shit and didn't care about you. So then you grow up treating everybody the same way your dad did. I mean, you know, it's like that whole thing. It's like we're all subjecting each other to socialization
Mhm.
all the time. I think the ultimate rebellion, if we were to truly protest what's going on, is we all go quiet. It's very hard to control someone when they don't talk. If everybody just went completely silent, went about their day doing exactly what they're doing, just but silently, most of your confusion would be gone in about 3 days, and most of your structure in society would fall apart, completely fall apart. That's what needs to happen. We don't understand that the mental socialization is the prison, it is the curse, it is the demon, that's what it is.
Is it error or is it curriculum?
What's that?
Is it error or is it curriculum? I mean, if the lower states and the other states are not in conflict, then it's not error. So it's curriculum.
I think there's, yeah, it's definitely curriculum. Absolutely, I would agree with you. There's an element of it that is awry. We all feel that. Something not quite right going on here. So there's an attempted manipulation of that. And I mean, if you take someone, you know, maybe someone who was sitting next to the very creator of the universe, who looked over and went, oh, I could do that, but I'm going to externalize this. You know, God's doing it all within himself. Let's use a metaphor, okay? God's doing it all within himself. Okay? And his favorite angel dude, Satan, says, wow, he's doing all within himself, and as long as I stay in a state of love and connection with that, it'll all be within myself too. But you know what? I think I'm going to externalize this. I'm going to recreate all of this in space, and that'll be my domain. And then you suddenly see how closely related the ego is with this concept of Satan. It's doing exactly the same thing. The ego, the idea of control, the idea of limitation, money, for instance. Did you know there used to be a time on Earth where food just was everywhere? Right? And then somebody got this great idea to lock it up and then create something of false value that they give to you, and then you give them food. And then you just invite a bunch of thugs over to guard that food, so the system actually implants inside these people. So basically, you can sit there and do nothing. That first idea, that's totally egoic. Putting value, putting in outside value on life itself. Ego, that's what the ego does. It totally distorts what's actual. It has no choice. So you kind of wonder where it came from. Is it actually an aspect of us as a species, or is it from one of these advanced